Okay, just pay attention to me here for a couple of minutes, please. Uh, well, Unit 5, screen time. This is what we need to do in this unit. The first mission, but some of our missions are first, review obligation, permission, prohibition, and suggestions. We are going to check today. This is actually what we are going to check today. The structures to express that, no? An obligation, permission, prohibition, and suggestion. Well, first we did this already. You know, expands our vocabulary. That was like probably the first part, no, of the mission in this unit. Increase our vocabulary related to technology, no, and the items, the technology devices that we were checking last class. So after we check today's grammar, you guys are going to be able to talk about accepted behavior in different places. Okay, what things are accepted and what things are not accepted, no, according to the place. If you are in a restaurant, what are you supposed to do, or what should you do, no, what's the way you should behave. If you are in a movie theater, the same. If you're in a plane. So we will talk about it after today's grammar. And well, this is more about the second part of a unit. We're gonna learn how to express abilities or achievements in the past with some particular expressions that we have for that too. Okay, so let's start with this: obligation, permission, prohibition, and suggestion. All right, so today we have to understand these four ways of speaking, or these four ways that we have to express something. Only just get familiar with the grammar, not with the structure. First, obligation. Okay, what is an obligation? What's an obligation for you? Huh?
Something that your parents or somebody says that you have to do.
Good. So an obligation is something that you have to do, no? Something that is mandatory, no? Something that you need to do. So what are the common ways, or the most common ways that we have to express an obligation? You can use have to, of course, no? You have to do something. You have to attend all classes this term, or you won't get a certificate, so you have to. Must, uh, students must keep their cell phones away during class. So it's an obligation. But do you understand the difference between have to and must? Does anybody know? Which one is more like mandatory? Have
Have
to,
Have
have
is
Must
to.
to.
mandatory than
Mm,
must.
no, have to is more like, it's stronger than must. Have to comes from a rule, from a general rule that we have in society. Okay, so if I tell you, or a rule that is written somewhere. Okay, so if I tell you you have to come to class because it's written, is because that is the law, that is the rule. Okay, must is an obligation, is more an obligation that comes from you. Okay, it's more intrinsic. Okay, it's yes, it's more something that you know that you have to do. Okay, it's not because somebody tells you to do it, or or it is written somewhere. But yeah, somebody can tell you actually to do it, uh, but if everybody knows that you are supposed to do that. Okay, it's not a law, it's not a rule, but it's something that, yes, that you must do. Yeah, I don't know if you get the idea, but well, just remember, have to is more like a rule, like a law, no? So it's normally stronger than must, but you can also express an obligation with must, no? And the last one is have got to. Okay, this is similar as have to, the same thing, no? But the grammar here is have got to, no? I've got to finish the report today because the meeting is tomorrow morning. So I have got to finish the report today. Okay? So you can use these three to express obligation. Remember, with must, we don't, do we use to with must? Do we put the verb in infinitive?
Mm, no.
No, only the verb. You must go, you must see, you must keep your cell phones away. But with have to or have got to, yeah, well, you need to. Now, how do we express no obligation or no necessity? There is no need to do something. We use don't have to or don't need to. Okay. Now we use don't have to or don't need to when you don't have the necessity, okay, to do something. When you don't do something because it's not necessary. Don't confuse don't have to with shouldn't, because that's one of the most common mistakes in quizzes, in exams. People confuse don't have to with shouldn't. Is it correct, for example, if I say, guys, you don't have to use the cell phone in class? Is that correct?
No.
No.
You don't
No.
have to use the cell phone. No, it's not correct. Porque ahí, por ejemplo, están confundiendo el don't have to con shouldn't. Si yo quiero decir es algo que no deberías hacer, ¿no? You shouldn't use your cell phone in class. ¿Ok? Entonces, ¿cuándo yo utilizo don't have to?
Is something that is not
When it's
necessary.
not necessary.
Ajá, o sea, no lo haces no porque no sea correcto, sino porque no es necesario hacer. For example, you don't have to do what? You don't have to. Sorry, there is one mistake here. You don't have to wash the car. Why? I will take it to the car wash this afternoon. ¿Sí? Por eso no lavas el carro. Lo llevaré al lavadero. So you don't have to do that. It's not necessary. No es que no deberías hacerlo, sino no tienes que hacer. The same for don't need to. No. You don't need to get a visa to visit South Korea. Sí, no es que no deberías hacerlo, sino no necesitas hacer. It's not necessary. You can enter South Korea without a visa. Okay? Is that clear how we use don't have to, don't need to? If you want, you can copy at least, I don't know, one example for each case, if you want. Just an idea. Because later you will have to write sentences for me by yourself. So you need to remember this. Okay. Now, suggestion. How do we express a suggestion? What is a suggestion, first of all?
Sugerencia, ¿no?
So, what is a suggestion?
It's something that is not an obligation. It's something that you can do if you want, or
It's a good
Okay.
idea.
Yes, good. It's
it's an idea. Yes.
it's a good idea. It's something that you are free to do or not. It's a good idea, but it's up to you, no? If you want to do it or not. So, what do we use to express a suggestion? We can use should or shouldn't, no? If the suggestion is negative. And we can use had better. Okay, what is the meaning of had better? Should is the same thing. They are very similar. So you shouldn't use yellow on that painting. It looks fine the way it is. So it's a suggestion. No, you shouldn't use yellow. Just leave it like that. Okay. Had better, the same. You'd better call a doctor if you keep feeling bad. So you should call a doctor if you keep feeling bad. It's the same thing. Okay, remember this contraction here is for had, not for would. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
teacher.
good.
Yes, teacher.
Remember this grammar. Also, with a should or had better, we just put the verb the way it is. Okay, you don't modify the verb after should or after had better. You say you'd better call your mom. You should call your mom. You'd better do the homework today. You should do the homework today. Okay, you don't modify the verb. And again, don't confuse shouldn't with don't have to. No, they are two different things. Okay, let's move on. Now, the last two, are, well, permission and prohibition. What is a permission? Now, what's a permission?
Something that somebody let you do.
Good. Something that you can do, something that you are free to do. So what three expressions can we use to express permission? We can use allow to, let, the verb let, or the modal can. For example, the teacher allows me to ask questions during class. You can also use this verb as a passive voice, no? You can also say, I am allowed to ask questions during class, okay? Or during the class. So you can say the teacher allows me, or I am allowed with ed to ask questions during the class. Okay, so you can use allow to, let. Similar, my parents always let me play video games after finishing my homework. Let. Can, we can drink water in the classroom. So these are examples now of permission that you have. Things that you can do, different places. And prohibition, what is a prohibition? The opposite, no? The things that you cannot do. For example, but we basically use the same three expressions from above, but in negative, okay? Now allowed to, but in negative, we are not allowed to use our cell phones in the school, or the teachers don't allow students to use the cell phones in the school. Let, in negative, my dad doesn't let me ride his new motorcycle. So I can't, no, it's a prohibition. My dad doesn't let me do that. Can't, we can't speak Spanish in class. This has nothing to do with the ability. This has something to do with the prohibition, okay? It's not that we don't have the ability to speak English in to speak Spanish. It's that we can't, okay? It's a prohibition. So don't confuse prohibitions with abilities, no? Because that's another problem, no? The can't could be used for prohibition, or it could also express an ability. But in this case, what are we doing? Expressing an ability or a prohibition?
Prohibition.
A prohibition, no? We can't speak Spanish in class. Okay, so these are the structures that you guys need to get familiar with, need to understand. Questions? Yes, no. Is that clear? Is somebody taking notes of this? Do you want me to go back to the previous examples? Or
Thank you for have that.
Teacher, can you pass
yeah,
the anterior, por favor?
the
Please?
previous one.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't know, but I think Brian is uploading, is posting the videos in YouTube like 1 week late. Like he's having some delays with this process of uploading videos and stuff. So if I send you a video today, he will post it like in 1 week, but he takes some days, to do that. So you won't be able to check this class before a week or something like that. It's better to take notes now, or at least write 1-2 examples. Because later in your sentences, I don't want to see mistakes. I don't want you to tell me things like, you should to go to the doctor. No. Okay, I already explained why. Or I don't want you to tell me, you must to keep your cell phone. No. Remember, with must, with should, we don't use to. Or I don't want you to tell me, you don't have to what? You don't have to do, you don't have to play soccer in the classroom. No, we already explained why that sentence is incorrect. No, that makes no sense. You don't have to play soccer in the classroom. No, you shouldn't play soccer in the classroom. Okay. Did you finish? Did you, I don't know, take some notes from this slide? Yes.
Yes, teacher.
And this. So can we go and do the grammar now? The grammar exercises. But if you want, you can also take some notes from this permission, prohibition. Just let me know. No, let me know. Like, ask me, teacher, can you please show us the previous slide or wait a minute. When you finish, go to the book. No, open your book on page. What page is this? 50, and complete the first exercise and the rule. Okay. Okay, done. Can we go and check the exercises
Yes.
in the book? No?
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Yes.